live by now, Jaemeel. And hello, everyone, and welcome here on Super Mader Brothers podcasting. It is Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. It is season 22 of Big Brother. It is the Veto reaction episode. I'm Dave Mader, joined with co-host Jaemeel Robinson, and Jeff Mader is his camera's here at least, and we are here to cover about this episode tonight. Okay, there was a I thought this episode was amazing in some ways. I have to say, they made it entertaining. This whole competition, this veto competition, was a big highlight for me tonight, Jaemeel. But it was also kind of a little bit nauseating in just how well everything goes for Cody, and it's just like, oh. So, how are you feeling about it?
Cody can't lose. I'm ready. I'm ready to sail into the rest of this finale until finale light. I'm ready. I got my Tums. Bring it on.
Congratulations, Cody.
Congratulations, Cody.
It's heading that way. He can't be
This is
stopped.
real.
He was bred for this. He was bred for this.
You didn't know where Jeff is? Jeff is actually finishing up that competition. He studied under Enzo and Tyler, and don't worry, he's gonna be here in about 2, 3, 25 minutes.
I don't know if I like this one or not. Yeah. So okay, here let's actually. Why don't we just go to? Well, hi Jeff's thing for now because I don't know what's going on. So see if he comes back. All right. So Jaemeel, how did you? Okay, so we covered Cody. Okay, my favorite part of tonight in this whole episode was Enzo doing this competition and his confessional accompanying this thing, and he was like, "So what do you want me to think? That they're not at the game, right?" And it was just like how he delivers the line. It was amazing. It cracked me up so much.
Boo! He started booing himself.
It was just like, what's going on? And the fact that Cody, who is seemingly an airhead and a ditzy kind of a guy, but also really smart, I guess, in some ways, and intelligent. And when he talks in his confessionals, he always comes across as this like really confident, strategic threat. But I don't know if he sped those lines or if that's actually coming out of those are his thoughts coming out of his mouth.
Take 2. I'm really good at this game. They cut out all the likes that he says. Like.
Even when he's looking right at the camera for like a prolonged period in those confessionals.
They have the teleprompter there, ready for him.
So they are feeding him lines. You're saying, yeah.
I'm just being very cute now. Look, Cody isn't a complete moron. Let's just say that. That's the first thing. Second thing is he's obviously hamming it up with Enzo. They're bored, so they're probably saying stupid stuff for the lols, right? Just to pass time. So I never think that Cody's a dummy to begin with. Like Cody's much smarter than Enzo. Let's just say he's much smarter than Enzo.
Do you think that Enzo knows about what sister-in-law means?
I think he knows he knows what it is, but I don't think he knows the origin of the word. Right? That's what Cody? He doesn't know. Right? Look. Honestly, there's a lot of things. You could probably grill me on some words and I'll be like, I know what the word means or what it's associated with. But if you want me to give you the origin of the word, then, I'm sorry. I can't
I don't know if it's as much of a word origin as it is just sort of a technicality in terms of why we use the phrase at all. Or
obviously in lieu, like money laundering,
Mm-hmm.
That's what I associated it with.
Yeah, like it's neither here nor there. It's yeah, okay. So let's get back to this episode talking about today. And yeah, there was a lot of hamming it up between Cody and Enzo and Nicole's always in the room apparently, or she was in the room tonight in a lot of this footage, and we saw that I don't know quite where she fits in with the dynamic of this, but I think this is who she thinks is our final three maybe now.
As of right now, yes, definitely.
Right, so that's who she's cozying up to, and not that she shouldn't do that, but
it makes sense for her. No,
yeah, like it's pretty obvious.
It is. I'm gonna switch cameras so I can look directly into your baby blues a little bit better. Okay, right. So that's why.
That's important.
It just feels kind of awkward me kind of moving things around like this, but it's all gonna make sense in like 2 minutes. In 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. 2 minutes.
2 minutes, Turkish.
2 minutes. Yeah, so Nicole, okay, like I don't know, she seems well insulated even going into this final 5 pretty well. I don't like, except unless it's Memphis who wins or whoever stays between. If Christmas stays around, does she want to go after Nicole, or would she? Well,
Christmas will go after any woman.
So she'll go after Nicole. So Nicole doesn't want Christmas around.
Like Nicole would rather Tyler and Christmas to be gone, right? She probably feels that Memphis will take out Cody before it takes out her. No, you know what? Actually, I disagree. She wants Cody. That's it. Cody and Enzo. That's who she wants, because Enzo would take Cody and her for sure. Enzo won't take Memphis. Enzo won't take Christmas. So, and Cody will take her, obviously. Like, let's forget that Nicole is a former winner. With all that's done in this season, can Nicole beat Cody? Just resume-wise?
I don't think so. Because I think she's played a very sort of under the radar, mousy, if you will, kind of game that's not really going to get a lot of respect from this particular group and what they are going to see as value and who played the game hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, maybe if you have Ian sort of as the rabble rouser in the jury saying, no, Nicole was playing a much more subtle game that you didn't understand her and how she I could see like a case being made for her for sure. But will it be enough? It's hard to see that. Oh, and no, wow. No, we're
just switch to it so it's more closer.
Yeah, this is the
get to see you better.
I have another camera too. Hold on. Well, this is dramatic. Camera 1.
Dramatic.
This one. That's not as good though.
Dave, there's no bad angles when you're.
There's no bad angles.
There's no bad angles when you're on the cam.
This is like a little bit of a different. This is the old camera. This is like original camera. See, and then I was like, we need a better camera. And then we went to this camera, and this was New Era was born. I think that's right.
You get a wide shot of all the glorious goodies in the background.
Why I was like, I wanted to get more on camera. That was kind of the original intent, but it's also just a better camera.
Okay. And I have something that I'm going to mention now. I'm going to mention later on, but I'm going to mention it tonight. Okay, something for you all. I'll mention it in a bit, but something for you. Just we can continue talking about the show
after we get into spoilers.
Post spoilers, I'll talk about it.
Okay.
So the revelation, I like. From an enjoyment standpoint of this episode, there was a lot of things that Enzo did that made me laugh. What you mentioned, especially during the veto, was hilarious in how just, I would say he was throwing it, but it was just so evident that he was completely lost in this episode and that challenge. So that was fun. But the whole conversation with Tyler and Tyler trying to drop truth with Enzo about the commission was hilarious.
Well, just okay, because of how cocky Enzo was and how much hubris he holds, and it's just like
It's a combination of the two. It was Tyler thinking at this point, Enzo, who's obviously so close to Cody, didn't know. And the fact that Enzo's reaction, right? Like playing a rat game, Enzo's doing a great job as a rat. He's an chef's kiss. I don't really respect the game too much, but he's Andy has to Andy has to be shaking in his boots because he was the rat king, but Enzo's trying to steal that crown. He's going to try to snatch it. But just the general reaction, DR, where he puts his head down and he's like, "I already knew," right?
Yeah, okay. But here's my problem with that is that even though he can have that sense of like, I already knew this, and you're not like blowing my mind and stop trying to act like now, I was the dummy. But this like Tyler telling him this is just affirmation of this information, because he's really only Cody told him this, right?
Yeah.
But Memphis hasn't talked to him about this. Like Nicole hasn't talked to him about this. Neither is Christmas. Nobody. No, the others have never gone into that. But Tyler is. So now with Tyler telling him this too, this is good for him. Like he can still, it's still legitimate for him to kind of laugh at Tyler for thinking that he owes him something for this information. But it's also that like that now that he knows this, he has to consider that where did he really fall into the plans of people like Cody and Nicole long term? Probably not that much. So he has to, if he had even just if he's lying there at night thinking about how this game might unfold, that has to be a consideration for him, right?
So two things. One, I do find it cute that you think that Enzo's staying up at night thinking about this game. I think he spends more time thinking about what hat he's going to wear every day, right?
Because what do you want me to think? That they're not at the game? What is this? What is this puzzle?
The second thing is, I think that Cody has done a great job throughout this entire season, making sure that Enzo was in the loop. Enzo never at any point seemed like he was blindsided by information or there was any type of like issue between him and Cody or what's going on, even though technically it wasn't part of the decision making, right? He always seemed to be in the loop. He always seemed to be on the right side of everything that's going on. So from not having the information confirmed from other people, did he really need to at that point when you've had week after week after week of being told what's going to happen, right? Looped in terms of what the group that he's not a part of is doing, and then seeing it play out, getting confirmation from other people about what their actions are, right? So even though someone didn't actually go and say, hey, we're part of a group called the commission, he's seen the commission work, and he's able to have like an overview of seeing all the people running around, all the lemmings running around. So he has that.
Yeah, like it's gotta like be something he can do with it, right? Like overall. Just sorry, I was thinking about Cody. And
it's hard to not think about Cody.
It's hard not to think about Cody as it relates to this game. Even Jane's like, I'm going for Cody now. I like him. He's a leader. He's a she's like, he wasn't my favorite, but he's the only one that's rootable sort of at this point. I sort of understand what she's saying. I've even when Cody was on his original season, there were things I've always disliked about Cody. Absolutely. But there's always been parts of me that have always liked these other things about him. Even his brother Paulie had some likable characteristics, although more I'd say he was way less likable than Cody is. And
like honestly, if you told me like say something positive about each individual, I could. It's not that I don't necessarily, I know I said it previously that I don't like anyone left, but when I say that, I mean in terms of like I root for them, like, I really want to see you win, kind of deal, right? But like every single person, even Nicole, I can say something positive about, right? And I try to separate the feelings about how I feel about the people in the game and how I think about the person overall in general. Cody is a comp beast, regardless of what people think, right? Comp beast, he's able to win these competitions, right? And he has he has played the game that Ian wanted to play, where lays low, and for the most part, he could have been winning competition after competition earlier on in this game, but he didn't. Laid low, laid
He won
low.
an HOH somewhere like around week 4, I think it was. But
Didn't he win first HOH?
oh, yeah, it was the first HOH. Is
Right?
this his only HOH since that?
No, he's won. He won in double eviction,
and maybe one other time. This might be his 4th. Is that?
No, this is his third HOH,
okay.
third veto.
Right.
So from the first one to his second one, there was a long gap, right? Where he was laying low. He didn't win anything. He kind of seemed like he was relaxing, right?
Mhm.
He was in discussions and part of the game, but he wasn't at the forefront, right? That's the game that Ian wanted to play. That's the game that Ian didn't end up playing, right? He didn't
I
have
agree with
any
that.
power, right? So Cody played well. I still feel that it's kind of scummy in terms of in terms of the kind of pregame alliance, but separating that altogether, because this is the reality, and he's played a good game. Tyler has done well for himself. A couple of mistakes, some sloppy work with Danny. I know people say Danny was sloppy. Yes, Danny was sloppy, but how Tyler dealt with it also was kind of sloppy, and he should not have taken out Danny. And that shot that he had,
Mhm.
it seemed kind of like a waste, right? Especially with um, with making sure that Nicole didn't get voted out before. That's some bad work. That's not good, right?
Just if we could just pause on Tyler for just one moment, because we haven't really talked much about him. But Tyler, we saw his time tonight in this veto competition maxed out at the 25 minutes. But unlike Enzo, who we got some confessionals from, and he kind of walked us through why he blundered it. We didn't see any of Tyler's. Tyler was not even shown to how he went through this competition. I don't even think we watched him start it. So, what do you think was the story behind that?
I think he just got frustrated and he just couldn't do it. Right?
Well, why cut it? Why cut it from the edit?
Because it doesn't look good, right? And it probably looked pathetic. Honestly, it probably looked pathetic. At least Enzo's was kind of entertaining. You kind of laugh at it, chuckle.
That's never stopped them before from burying somebody.
Tyler's one of like Grodner's favorites, so
can't do it.
Can't do it.
She hit it. She hit his shame.
Yeah, right. And they didn't show him quitting, even though that's technically like they've shown people thinking about quitting in the past. Look at Big Brother Canada shown people like thinking about quitting or talking about quitting. They didn't show like a lick of it at all, right? Even though it was extremely relevant during that whole week. But is it bad? Is it sad to say that I don't think Tyler's going anywhere?
Okay. Well. Okay.
I'm not even talking about spoilers. I'm talking about in terms of what is being presented here, and everything that Tyler says, for the most part, kind of makes sense. Because if you're Cody, and let's say Tyler wins, Tyler's putting up who? He's not going to put up Enzo. So he's going to put up what? Cody and Nicole? Right? They're going to vote out Nicole.
Going up for sure, right?
Yeah, they're going to vote out Nicole. Memphis and Thing are going to vote out Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Enzo is going to vote out Nicole. If they put up Cody and let's say Cody and Enzo, Memphis and Nicole are probably gonna vote for Cody, and Enzo's gone. If they vote out put Cody and Memphis up. Nicole and Enzo are gonna vote out Memphis in a heartbeat. So with Christmas, things get a little bit more like a little fuzzier. I feel, and plus, like we can talk about more or less of other stuff later on in spoilers.
I think that Christmas's membership in this alliance is maybe one of the more interesting parts of this season overall. Like that's which makes it one of the more redeeming parts of this season because, I think she's kind of a quirky woman. I gotta say, she, even just tonight and watching her, talk to herself in this veto competition and just some of her moments. And I just think her social dynamics with these people, and now that there's only 6 of them left, I think that they're just like, oh, okay. Right. And now Christmas is on the block. And just all the emotion she was giving to Cody in the talk in the HOH. I can't tell how much of that was real, how much of that was fake. It was a little bit hard to understand because of the intercutting of her confessionals a little bit.
I think it's both. I think it's real / like you realize where your emotions are taking you, and you just kind of push that up. You start thinking about, I'm gonna miss my kids more. I'm gonna, I'm so close. And the feelings just start mixing up, and you just start blabbing on what she was doing. Oh, I just keep pressing my face and liquid comes out. Like, that's kind of weird, but
it's an interesting phrase, I think, to say to somebody. Like,
I can't wait from years from now that we're having a conversation and I'm gonna say, "Oh, I squeeze my face and liquid comes out."
Yeah, I'll be like, I know that reference. That's
I got that reference, everyone. I got that one.
Oh, and hey, watch out, Daryl. We're not into the spoiler section yet, unless we want to jump into the spoilers. But have we covered everybody in the episode yet? We haven't
talked about Memphis yet.
We haven't talked about Memphis. We never talk about Memphis because it's Memphis.
Memphis barely on the show. Special guest star, Memphis.
Okay, well, we saw tonight, his scene in the episode was a lot about his relationship with his father and then becoming a father himself, and how that was also tying into what Tyler's struggles were in this episode, relating to sort of the loss of his father, who was a very significant person in his life. So, what were your feelings just after that whole thing?
So, once again, tying into what I was previously saying, like, even though I don't necessarily like these people game wise, and Memphis is a little bit scummy in general, at no point do I doubt that he loves his wife, that he loves his kids. At no point. So when I'm hearing him talking about it, I'm seeing it being presented on the video scope, as a Macho Man would say, I do feel that he's being genuine with Tyler. Right? And these are important conversations in terms of building a rapport. And if Tyler were to be eliminated, something that Tyler will think back to when it's time to vote. Has he done enough of that? I don't think so. I think he burned a lot of bridges, right? Memphis in general. This wasn't game, I felt. This was a genuine conversation. And that's where Memphis comes across as being personable and likable. Same thing with Tyler. You feel for Tyler, right? You never doubt Tyler when he starts talking like that, when he's usually talking about Angela, right? You could tell, like, she's at the forefront of his mind, right?
Angela.
Angela. Like, you know that he's thinking about her, right? As much as Enzo's thinking about what baseball cap he's wearing on eviction night, Tyler's thinking about Angela. I think that kind of might handcuff his game because he's not willing to play as free as he used to. But that's the only thing that's different from this time to last time, I feel.
Yeah. Okay. And just on this whole thing with Memphis tonight, yeah, like I understood, like, yeah, he, like, this whole thing with his father and becoming father, and he also said, like, I don't think, you can't understand it until you become a parent yourself, until you have a son or daughter. Like, I'm like, I don't like. I think people who are not necessarily parents are me. I don't know if they would object to that statement or not, but that was like I understood where he was coming from, but as a father myself, but I was just like, well, we'll see. Like that. If that's
Do you feel as a parent that people who don't have children kind of speak on things about parenting where they don't really have a good understanding or the perspective that you have as being a parent?
Not necessarily. No, I don't tend to have that opinion largely. Maybe it would depend on the context and what the statement were and everything else. But I mostly just like because it's more. I think it's more to have to do with like what was talked about with unconditional love, and it also kind of goes into the whole like on Survivor they would have like the couple or the loved one visits, and I think there was a famous scene in Survivor where one guy says like if I have to, it's between seeing my mom and seeing my wife. It's about seeing my. Well, maybe it doesn't tie in with that, but it's just yeah. I was like, wait, no, this doesn't connect well with what I'm trying to say at all. Forget that part. But just in terms of, I think unconditional love could mean a whole bunch of things. I think it's hard to define.
See, whenever I think of the loved one's visit for Survivor, to me it doesn't jive so well because one, I'm a single dude. Two, I have no children, and I love my family. But after 26 days of not eating, I'll probably run to a bottle of ketchup too. So I'm a weird cat, right? So if there was a nice bed, I'll probably run to that. I'll probably stop crying. Maybe a toothbrush. I'll be like, I miss you so much. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right? I'll start bouncing around. Like you see when people see showers or peanut butter, right? These people are emotional wrecks on these shows, right? After 26 days of being taken away from their world per se. So I can buy the family visit. I'm just under the mentality that they would cry for anything that is a comfort of home.
For sure. Yeah. And in that way, I think we had a somewhat human moment from all of the all even Memphis here, and we had sort of some time here. But who does the episode in terms of the nominations? These two, we have Christmas and Tyler here, who are both liabilities for different reasons to people who are in power or not on the block here in this case. And the whole fact that who do they want us to believe? Because Cody's like, well, I kind of want a Christmas out, but now I kind of want Tyler out, and who it would be. And so I think they're trying to leave it kind of ambiguous. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, they typically like. Both of them didn't do any favors for themselves this week in general, right? From what we're presented on the video scope, we're seeing Tyler being kind of sketchy, especially the Enzo. And then you see like just the emotional wreck that Christmas is, right? Which doesn't bode well for further like end game scenarios, right?
Right.
Like, so the question has to be thinking about, you can at least talk to Tyler. You can talk to Tyler, right? And like there's enough people that can beast out Tyler, right? They say like Tyler's a beast, but it's like very situational. So
yeah, if he's feeling motivated that day.
Yeah. Right. So what exactly like there's a way, and plus you have to kind of see where the pieces lie, right? Is Nicole finally going to win an HOH? Right? Because if she does, then that kind of like eases a lot of burden for Cody and Enzo. Right?
It also would help her case. Like if she had an HOH even in the final 5, I think. Well, it gets her to the final 4, of course, and it also gives her at least something to say she's done.
I don't think she's gonna win a competition this year. I don't think she's gonna win a single one.
Is that intentional or is just?
I think at the beginning it was intentional, but at this point, no. Like even if it's
true or false, she can't even win a true or false.
true, like Slip and Slide, she's not going to win. BB
No.
Comics, I don't think she's going to win.
Nothing physical. I'm talking mental only, right?
Like even mental competition. Like, how many mental competitions do we have? Like, you have the how everyone ties together veto. You know, where it's like, you know, add who connects to who. You know, and press the button at the end when you connect everyone in the right order, type of thing, which was kind of this episode, but I still think that they might do another one, and then they might do the poker one or the counting one, right? If they want to show a live head of household.
But the final part of the HOH, part 3 of the HOH, should Nicole find herself in that final 3, which she might, right? That's a very good possibility. Like if she can somehow win part 2 and part 3 of the HOH, and then she has the power to decide who she sits with in the final 2, then that's her threat. Not she's that what she could win that kind of a competition.
If I would possibly agree if she would take anyone but Cody, but she's not.
Right. Even if she will lose to Cody, even if she knows with certainty she will lose to Cody, she will take him to the final 2.
I think so.
Because of the pregame alliance.
I think so.
It's the they have a blood pact that if either of them.
Victor, has anyone seen Victor? Is he like in a cage over like spikes, like
maybe,
a
and
Batman?
If you break from this deal, if you do not take me, if you cut me in that way, I will expose us both, and we'll
if she wins HOH and Cody's put on the block, you see the spikes, the cage just fall to the spikes a little bit. She's like, no, don't, no,
right.
Victor.
Okay, if you were a Cody though, assuming this is all about Cody, and it always is, who do you want out? Do you want Memphis? Do you want Tyler out or Christmas out? What's better for your game? Was not what do you want, but what's better for your game?
Honestly, I think getting Tyler out is the better decision long term, because I think that you can vote out Christmas. You can beat Christmas, and if by chance she does win, you can kind of convince Christmas about it. You can convince Christmas, right? You can change her mind, right? Memphis is too stubborn, right? And Christmas knows this. Nicole knows this. Enzo knows this. So you can get people against Memphis no problem, right? People are tired of doing what Memphis wants. So you want a person like Memphis there because, like, people want to take him out. Christmas is loyal to a fault.
She even named her son loyal, as we know. Right? Yeah, I agree with you. I think that what Tyler said tonight, where he's like, if I were these people, I'd want to vote me out too. And I go, yeah, that's exactly spot on, Tyler. And that's exactly what they should do, because you could right now you're in sort of your mopey mode or whatever, but like you're going to come out of it and you're going to start winning competitions down the stretch. And I think people see that. And I think that this is the fact that this might be a dumb move if he's feigning it in any way.
Yeah.
But I don't have any evidence to suggest that.
Cody shouldn't leave it a chance. He can, at this point, he can beast out the rest of cops, right? And keep himself in a good position. But with Tyler there's always going to be a little bit of doubt, right? You don't. It's not that you lose one and you're gone. It's if you lose the wrong one, or if you lose multiple. And Christmas can totally beat you in terms of an HOH or a veto one time, but she's not going to win an HOH and a veto. She's not going to win stuff back to back to back. Tyler can do that. Christmas cannot.
Is there any chance they would want to vote out Christmas just for the sake of the fact that they don't want to live out there for another week and they want to send her to jury house? Even though they know it's
definitely a reason to vote out Christmas. Definitely. Because you see it there, and when we get into spoilers, we could talk about specific scenarios that occurred.
Okay, I'm ready for spoilers if you are. I think we covered everything in the episode. So if you're leaving us now, join us tomorrow night as we'll be covering the eviction between Christmas and Tyler. But if you're coming with us into spoiler territory, we're going to kind of find out what's happening. Make sure you have your Tums ready. Who knows? The
just
final,
in case.
As we had, do you think we'll find out, Jaemeel, who the HOH is tomorrow night? Do you think it will be a live HOH, or do you think it will be an after the fact?
Let's see. It would be second week of October. Is it second week of October? Second week of October. So I would say yes. This would be sweeps would be next week. Sweeps would be either next week. Yeah, sweeps would be next week. So I think so. So I think it will be live.
Okay. All right. So we think we're gonna have a live one. Let's get okay. If you're leaving us now, then we'll see you later. But here comes the spoiler warning. Here we go. And I don't even need those emojis there though, because
the emojis.
The emojis. Okay, so Gerald, I've been wanting to show your comment for a while. So you're saying Daryl's always giving us the live feeds. Nicole Frenzel and Memphis want Tyler out. Enzo is fine with that as well. Nicole mainly just wants revenge on Tyler for nominating her, but obviously Enzo and Memphis want to protect the other members of the Wise Guys Alliance's Christmas. Okay, so what are you saying here? You're saying
that Nicole wants Tyler out because
of course, Nicole. What you think she would want Christmas out almost more, but I get why she wants Tyler out.
Well, Christmas is totally throwing Tyler under the bus, and I think Nicole knows that Tyler's the bigger threat, and Christmas can be taken care of later on. All right, so makes more sense to give it.
Makes more sense here to get rid of Tyler. Like if you're if you want to put yourselves in any of their shoes, you should say, who would you vote out? You're given the choice to vote at Christmas or Tyler here at Final Six. Just like forgetting all the drama of the game and who's backstabbed who and whatever. You just have to look at face value of who these players are. You have to want Tyler out more. You have to. It's so tempting to get rid of Tyler here, especially knowing what he's done already. He's won competitions and by incredible margins, right?
Exactly.
And they haven't had the chance to get rid of Cody, but I gotta think if he was on the block, if there was a chance to take out Cody, I know that we keep saying no, he wouldn't go, but there's got to be a chance that they would have to think.
You wouldn't put yourself in that type of position. If you're Cody, you don't put yourself in that position.
No, he wouldn't go in that position anyway. He wouldn't be in what the situation Tyler's in. And I think that's what Tyler is probably. If you want to think that Cody's a good player, which I think that's the thing that maybe is rootable about him, is just that at least he's playing well. At least he seems to be controlling things. And if you just want to say who played Big Brother well, Cody's technically doing it well, even if he's with Paul, when Paul, even though not everyone liked them, it was I have to keep it was more about how Paul was playing with amateurs, right?
Yeah.
But basically ran the game. And so you can say that these are not all stars. The likes of David and even Kevin and whomever.
But at the same point, Paul playing with amateurs and kind of controlling the game is one thing. Cody's playing this game, and he isn't as gimmicky as Paul was, right? And didn't have an overbearing nature like Paul did. Cody has been fairly cool. Everything has been laid out, and he's just let things happen. He didn't overplay his hand. Paul overplayed his hand a ton of time. Terrible jury management. You can't say the same thing about Cody, right? When people talking about blood on people's hands, the only real blood that people have is following Cody, right? So it's are you mad at Cody? Well, I'm mad that he had this great advantage, but is it Cody's fault that everyone else stayed loyal to this idea of keeping him around? It's not Cody's fault, right? Is it Cody's fault that people, acted the way they did? That is not Cody's fault.
No, Cody's played well. It's just like, it's not necessarily a fun game to watch, but it's very much like the Derek game. He learned very much. He played with Derek. He learned that was almost his mentor. And here we're seeing almost a flawless game. And if Cody wins, which I think he's very well lately likely to, it's just you see it coming forever. So here Daryl's saying though his boy Memphis is the next HOH, and he says Cody and Nicole are going up. So bye Cody. This perfect game is going down, says Daryl. And Daryl, mark his words, he can be correct about these things, and he wants to be wrong. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. Jaemeel, you're shaking your head. I don't think you're on board with what Daryl's saying about Memphis.
No, I don't think Memphis is going to win.
Memphis has won HOHs at all the wrong times. Every time Memphis wins HOH, our mood visibly goes down. We're like, oh, a Memphis HOH week, yay! Here we go.
But he slinks back into the shadows. I don't think he can do that in this one.
No, if he wins the next HOH, then he would be. He can't slink into the shadows of Final Four. He's one of the Final Four, so it's what it is.
So if it's Cody and Nicole, then it's Enzo and Christmas voting. So Nicole is gone, and Cody's staying.
Right.
So I don't know how Cody would leave on that type of scenario.
No, Cody's gonna win. I think Cody's gonna win. Even if Memphis wins HOH, it's not gonna matter. It's over.
You would need Memphis and Christmas to vote, and that would mean Enzo would have to be HOH, right? And then Memphis is not putting up Cody, so why is this even a question?
It really shouldn't be,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, no, this is Cody. This is Big Brother 22 Cody.
Congratulations, Cody.
That's the whole season.
Yeah.
All right.
He has it on lock.
Is there any other spoilers that we need to know about?
How Christmas says she's not getting voted out on her son's birthday. And then Cody goes, I don't care. It's her son's birthday. That's her issue, not mine. I love that conversation.
Who was the one in the past, the player from a few years ago, who famously yelled at another one saying, "On my daughter's birthday"?
On my daughter's birthday. I don't know. I want to. Let me look that. Let's see if I can get that.
A couple of years ago on the Big Brother US. Jeez,
let's see if I can.
You remember?
Full copy pasta. I love. Who said this? Who said this?
My daughter's birthday.
I found the copy pasta of it. Jeez, I'm trying to. I could probably tell you the entire line, but
Daryl saying,
Rockstar.
Rockstar. That's who it was. Man, how did I forget that?
Let's get some Big Brother radio theater. Want to talk about that? Because I haven't talked to you the entire time.
Big Brother radio theater. I love it.
You are a piece of crap. I cannot, on my daughter's birthday, believe that you would sit there and do crap like that. You're a bold-faced, disgusting. I haven't talked to you in 3 days. You didn't campaign to me. I cannot. Disgusting. I can't believe on my daughter's birthday you would drag up my name through the mud like this. You are disgusting. Do you understand? That's fine, because the public saw who I voted out, and it was you. And we'll get you out again. So that's cute. That's real cute. That's cute. That's cute. Real cute. See?
Oh my God, you couldn't write dialogue so good. It's so real.
Thank you, Rockstar. Thank you.
Thank you. It's no person in the right mind would ever write that on the page, but it would make an amazing play. Just like the monologue, I think. Yeah.
It's like I could just imagine some millennial is going to their audition, and they're like, "I'd like to perform a scene from Big Brother monologue by Rockstar." A second.
Oh, you have
Okay,
a
I'm
second one.
ready.
Oh,
I'm
here we
ready.
got
No,
another.
no,
We
no.
got
I'm just saying they emotionally prepare themselves, and then they say something like that.
yeah. I need more of her. I need more of her transcripts. I need more Big Brother transcripts where I can reenact them. That would be great.
There has to be Big Brother transcripts. Transcripts. I think that might be an interesting
Concept. Yeah.
concept for the rest of this season. Is each person takes an important monologue. Maybe Jeff does Dan's funeral,
Yeah.
right?
Jane's funeral.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an
Which
interesting concept.
well, we got to find some way to entertain ourselves. There hasn't been that many thing. Oh, Jane has to do Davon's speech, Davon's eviction speech. Let's see if she can do it in one breath.
Devon's. I don't know. It's
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Dan's funeral. Oh,
I'm trying.
wait.
I'm trying to find something. Yeah, I should be. I should have. I don't. There's dead air here going. But hello, and yeah, just on yeah. That I think that would be a lot of fun. But who? Okay, so we established that. Who actually is going to go? Nicole and Memphis are going to get Tyler out. That's how the vote goes. So the Enzo's going with them. So it is Tyler tomorrow for sure. As of
I
right
think
now, it will be Tyler.
I think so.
Okay, and that's what this should be. Okay, and then we'll see who wins the next one. But we need more of Jaemeel Robinson's Big Brother Radio Theater. I think I'm with you on that. It's you kind of created that a little bit more than I did, but that was really good.
At a certain point, it's like, why not? Why not? I just want scripts.
Yeah, that was that was good.
Thanks,
No,
Kamish. Thanks,
especially if
Kamish.
you're a rock star, yeah. Or if you don't, do you know Zach Rance quotes or something? Would be great.
Oh my gosh.
Like 5 people that annoy me: people that talk, people that eat, people that sleep, people that breathe, people that live.
Although I never want to see someone do Dr. Wills. Am I? Because no one just sounds as like sly, and he's such a snake, but such a lovable snake.
Christine, if we pulled out the Big Brother dictionary and we looked up the word floater, it would be a picture of you and Gin City holding hands, never being called to the die room. Basically irrelevant.
You're reading it right now.
Yeah, like these are
It's like,
Zach Rance quotes. Yeah, Fruit Loop Dingus. Yeah, whatever.
Maybe something about Nokomis and the invention of the backdoor.
Yeah. What else?
They couldn't find Nokomis and get her to be on this season? I always like Nokomis and Cowboy.
I don't know who those people are.
Nokomis and was on a season where the twist was everyone's related. Someone has someone that's related, and what they found out was Nokomis's long lost brother was this dude who was nicknamed Cowboy, and he was like an all men's alliance. And she's this like gothic, her name's Nokomis, right? And who did she vote out? Was it James? Not James.
Was she on like the Evil Dick season?
No, this is season 5.
Oh, okay.
So Evil Dick was season 8, right? It was the one after All Stars. And she was in the pool and she was like thinking about the rules, and she's like, "Hey, let's not put up our main target. Let's not put him up, and then whoever wins veto out of us, we use the veto, and then we put our target up, and he can't compete in the veto to take himself off." Right? She basically invented the back door. All right, and people just weren't prepared for that type of like high level thinking about the game. Of like, she didn't break the game, but it's like it's one of those situations where people like when it dawned on the dude that they want to backdoor, and he realized the situation he was in, it was like, damn, like he could, like it wasn't something that he thought about. Um, you should like there's in earlier seasons, even though it is different from what we're used to right now, there's some real nuggets of like strategy that it just kind of blows you away sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like YouTube does a great job in terms of supercuts. So like supercuts of like Will, of like Dan, Nokomis, Janelle, in terms of like Janelle is a boss for a reason. And it isn't just because she won comps, it's also how she like portrayed herself, right? As like a very confident and strong woman on the show,
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of times you didn't really have that like backing up your talk, and that was Janelle was like, she backed up what you said, and you saw like reinventions of that kind of mold, and like Rachel Riley, although Rachel Riley cried so goddamn much, it's ridiculous. But I'm going on and on about stuff. I will work on Big
Oh, that's
Brother
good.
Radio Theater. And but how do you feel about this Thursday? Do you think that you're going to be happy at the outcome and how things are portrayed?
How are they portrayed? Will I be happy after tomorrow night's episode? Is your question? I guess so. I guess not. No, I don't know. I
Enthusiasm.
because it's going to be Tyler, and I understand that that is the person that needs to go. So just from the analytical left brain side of me is saying, yes, of course, Tyler must go, and you can get out Memphis later, Christmas later. But the thing with Christmas is, I just don't like her, and I want her to go. I want the villains of this show to die. But like, basically, yeah, I'm left kind of here cheering either for Enzo or Cody. But Cody deserves it more. Enzo falling into the wind I would be fine with that. I don't
But you
think
just feel like you're settling.
I'm settling. I'm not cheering for this to happen. I would be quite content with it. It would be an outcome that I think would be poignant. I think Cody winning is almost too much.
Like a
It's
foregone conclusion, slow moving train wreck. It's like, yep, you crossed the finish line. We saw it all the way back at like 50 meters, and 1,000 meters later, he's finally crossed the finish line.
well, it's a runaway season, right?
Yeah.
That's what this has kind of been. And the players that could have challenged Cody allied with him and then basically died. When it came down to it here, which was Christmas, which is and Tyler. Now we'll see what Christmas does. Who knows? She's the next HOH. Who knows? What the heck does she do then?
But this is why people like Cody and Tyler should be taken out during the double eviction or triple eviction, right? Just so that, it's quick and easy. He has so much power that people can make split-second decisions that like change stuff, right? That's the time that you take that shot at people and you force their hand. But you have to make sure you hit. Like, the only reason why Tyler would survive is because he had a full week to campaign.
Right.
But
I don't know. Like, I'm
the
fine
rest
with Tyler going too. Like, I'm not. I'm like, well, it could have been a great season, but now Tyler's gone. Like, whatever. Tyler's gone.
Yeah.
See you never. Who cares?
See you never.
That's a Zach Rants. I'm channeling the Zach Rants there. So.
Okay.
All right. Let's wrap up tonight. So we'll be back tomorrow night to cover the eviction. And it will be, I think, probably be Tyler. So, and we never know what happened to Jeff Mader. Is he here? Oh, is he here? Is he here? Nope. It's just
nope. He's still working on that challenge.
Still working on it. He's working on it.
Boo!
Yeah. Boo, Jeff. He's. It's tough out there. It was windy today. You probably have to walk against the wind as a postman. So
sure.
It was. It was a rough time.
But we appreciate you, Jeff. We do.
We do. All right. So
what's on tap for the rest of the week for Super Mader Brothers podcast?
Oh, well, I'm glad you've asked, Jaemeel. Sorry. Don't let me. Daryl just commented, but here on Live Long and Podcast this week. Well, we've already had our Tuesday night Deep Space Nine rewatch, which was last night. What, Jaemeel? You may have been away for that one, but you missed a fine episode in Melora, which
Floating in air. I saw the episode. I just slept through the actual podcast.
I need to get your rating, by the way. I'll get that off air. But so then once just tonight, here we did original series rewatch where we covered an episode called "The Devil in the Dark," which was about Kirk and Spock chasing around a lava monster in a cave. And then tomorrow night we'll be covering Star Trek Lower Decks as they will be finishing the 10th. With their 10th episode, this first season will be concluding. We're going to be finishing that up. Jaemeel, I'm excited to talk about that, and hopefully Jeff's there too. We'll see. I know, at least I know I will be there to talk about it. If we can get all three of us in the same place at the same time,
magic will happen.
Tomorrow night it will just be you and Jeff, and I'll just be mysteriously gone. So
you'll be still running the board, though. You just mean I'm not going to be on.
I have to run the board. Yeah, like the thing is, like I have to. There's someone has to be here to turn it on. It doesn't have to be me, but yes. So we'll be here to cover that. Also, we'll be on Big Brother. So we have both double duty tomorrow night, and then after we complete that with Lower Decks tomorrow, we're gonna be heading into next week as Star Trek Discovery starts its third season. It's almost like a new reboot of that show. So I'm going to be covering that, I believe, with Adam Woodward and hopefully Michael Chan and Josh Shields. So they are going to be, or at least one or a combination of those people. So
maybe some Jodie appearances in a couple episodes.
Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I don't like Jodie has a strong dislike for the show. I don't think it's a healthy thing. So it's
well, I hope that the series makes him a believer. He's able to find some enjoyment, and then he can come on the show and say, "Folks, I thought this series was going to go in the toilet, and I'm wrong." Maybe we might see that. We don't know. There's a great unknown out in the future, and you and the team that you've put together are going to discover if it is true or not.
Disco. And just the last plug, we also have we also do Star Trek Radio Theater, which we won't be doing this weekend. We're taking a weekend off for Thanksgiving, but we're going to be back to do Voyagers in the Flesh, which is a episode with species 8472. If you have any familiarity with that, that's gonna be a lot of fun. We're going to be having a bunch of different people. I think Ashley's playing Chakotay, and we got a whole bunch of different things going on in that story. And Trivial Debates is our other channel. So just one thing here last from Daryl. He's saying the bros from the shore can see the finish line. I think he's talking about Cody and Enzo. Yeah, I was looking past Tyler's presumed eviction this week and how things might play out on Thursday. So he's saying Cody and Enzo. What if Cody and Enzo is final two? Does Cody win for a joke?
Cody wins for sure. Like, it's no doubt.
No doubt.
I don't know how you can.
So is Enzo just playing for the 50,000 for the second place?
I think that's how much his 80-inch television is.
Yeah, so he's good with that.
Yeah,
and he'll feel good about it, the game he played, and he'll be able to go home happy. So
he didn't get third place; he got second place this time.
Yeah, that's an improvement. I did a little bit.
He's
better.
Like, next All Stars, I'll be number one.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. We're gonna sign off. We'll see you tomorrow night. Take care and stay safe. Remember to